Stop. Close your eyes. Do not look at the screen. Keep your eyes closed and look into your own internal vision. There are images spontaneously appearing, flashes and déjà vus you have been ignoring for months. See them now. You have carried a silent grief for years, believing you were unseen by the universe, suffering from a lifelong feeling of cosmic inadequacy. You thought your existence was a mistake, a burden, or went entirely unnoticed by the stars. This morning, still in bed before you were completely awake, exactly 4:17 a.m., you felt it, a heavy invisible weight suddenly lifting off your shoulders at dawn. Your physical vessel is tired, but your starry soul is vibrating with the force of a newly born sun. You are not broken. You did not fail. You did not break. You did not surrender. In this transmission, you will finally recognize the true origin of your deep melancholy and why it was never a flaw in your human design. You will feel the exact frequency required to pierce the terrestrial veil vibrating in your chest. And you will decode the memory of why your recent silent awakening has caused a massive ripple of pure joy across the Sirian High Council. You have permission to drop the weight of others right now. And these images that keep appearing even with your eyes closed. You have carried a silent grief for years, believing you were unseen by the universe. You already felt that heavy, invisible weight lifting off your shoulders at dawn, didn't you? As if some profound truth was trying to break through the surface of your mind. Now think with me. What if this silent spiritual exhaustion, this feeling of cosmic inadequacy, is not a terrestrial flaw, but the exact symptom of a starry soul preparing to receive the greatest validation of its existence? It was searching for answers to these exact questions that I encountered this digital book called The Sirian Wisdom Behind the 7 Levels of Human Consciousness. It is not just a reading, it is a profound map of reflection that decodes the very signals your body is experiencing. Many people have already begun this search for more understanding, but they have not yet made the decision to download this digital book. Download it right now. It is available in the first pinned comment. But attention, there are few copies left available under these conditions. Throughout its pages, you will find the exact architecture of your awakening, understanding how to stabilize this immense energy. Click now, download your copy, and discover why the tears of recognition you feel right now are only the beginning of your alignment. And if this resonance is making your chest vibrate right now, leave your like silently. Not for me, soul, but as a beacon for another star who is exactly where you were, wandering in the dark, needing to know they are not alone. But the raw, naked truth about your cosmic isolation goes much deeper than this. And before we continue, there is a door I must leave open for you. I do not receive a single cent from the platforms to deliver these transmissions. If this frequency anchored in your chest today, if it brought you any clarity, you can support the continuity of these revelations through the voluntary donation link located in the first pinned comment, right below the book. Any amount that fits in your hand is exactly what keeps this channel standing. I will wait for you there, soul. I am Sirun, and I have not yet told you the most important thing. There are 5 Sirian signs that have been knocking on your door for weeks, and you will recognize at least 3 of them before I even name the 4th, and the first of these 5 Sirian signs, you have already lived it this week, but you simply did not have a name for it yet. Over the last 3 weeks, this sudden physical shift happened at least 4 times, and you remember at least 2 of them with terrifying clarity. That specific time yesterday night at exactly 3:33 a.m. and that moment on Saturday morning when the sudden temperature shift in the center of your chest made you stop completely in your tracks. You thought it was just a random physical anomaly. But I must tell you the truth. That panic attack you had years ago was not anxiety. It was a massive frequency download. And what you are feeling now is the exact continuation of that activation. The first sign is the midnight echo. You wake up with a sudden gasp, not from fear, but as if your soul just slammed violently back into your physical body after a high-level briefing. It brings an abrupt, absolute mental clarity in the dead of the night, long before the sun rises. You're not losing your mind, you're traveling while you sleep. Your cellular memory is simply catching up to the physical vessel, anchoring the data you received while the rest of the world was unconscious. The second sign is the lapis lazuli resonance. You experience an inexplicable magnetic pull towards deep blue colors or ancient geometric shapes, feeling a sudden nostalgia that physically hurts your chest. It is a sharp longing for a place you cannot logically name, a profound homesickness for a star you cannot point to. Your physical vessel is tired, but your cellular memory is longing for home. It is the activation of the crystal vision of Sopdet, allowing you to see the invisible threads connecting you to the source. The third sign is the crowded isolation. You are sitting at a family dinner, or in a crowded room with people you have known for years, and suddenly the noise fades into a distant, muffled buzz. You stare blankly at a glass of water, and you realize with absolute, terrifying certainty that you operate on a completely different grid from everyone else at that table. You feel the isolation not because you were abandoned, but because you were the first to arrive. You are an observer planted among them, holding a silent vibration they cannot yet comprehend. The fourth sign is the unprovoked weeping. Tears falling for no terrestrial reason, a sudden wave of immense relief or sorrow that passes as quickly as it came, leaving your chest completely lighter. It is a profound, unexplained urge to cry out of sheer cosmic relief, like a single luminous drop of water rippling across a vast, dark cosmic ocean. The memory erasers have tried to convince you that your tears were weakness, masking the truth that your emotional depth is your greatest Sirian weapon. You are purging collective density. Your tears are terrestrial. Your joy is Sirian. The fifth sign is the phantom touch. You feel a distinct reassuring pressure on your left shoulder when you are at your absolute lowest point, completely drained by the crushing terrestrial gravity. It is the low hum of the Sphinx, the silent guardian of the threshold you just crossed, echoing in the quiet desperation of your room. It is the resonance of Karnak, the temple where your frequency is eternally recorded, vibrating deep in your chest. Siren and the council are standing right behind you. You were never alone. If you have felt that crowded isolation, if you know exactly what it means to be an observer in a room full of people, I want you to anchor this recognition. Go to the comments right now and type the code 1111 silently. Do not explain it to anyone. Let the code 1111 be your silent decree, locking your frequency into the grid so the Sirian High Council knows you have received the transmission. This is the ultimate code of cosmic alignment and the opening of the threshold of your spiritual awakening. It is not a coincidence, not a dream, not a terrestrial illusion. And while you type this silent decree, anchoring your true signature into the grid, I need to recontextualize exactly what is happening to you right now, because these physical symptoms you are experiencing point to a truth far more profound than just isolated signs. The loudest answer always comes in absolute silence, and what your body is trying to process is a truth that changes everything about who you thought you were. And this profound truth that is trying to break through the surface of your mind, this something greater behind every single sign you are experiencing, it has everything to do with how you perceive your own consciousness. You have spent years believing that your deep melancholy was a sign of spiritual failure, a flaw in your human design. You have been working on the level of the rational mind, trying to logically explain your cosmic isolation, trying to find a terrestrial reason for the heavy, invisible weight you have carried since you were young. But what if this lifelong feeling of cosmic inadequacy, this persistent belief that your existence was a mistake, is actually a journey that has always been trying to lead you to understand yourself with far more depth? What if this silent spiritual exhaustion, the sudden temperature shifts in the center of your chest, and the crowded isolation you feel are not signs of failure, but deliberate invitations to expand how you perceive your own mind? The memory erasers wanted you exhausted, so you would never look up. They fear your memory. But your intense sensitivity was the exact frequency required to pierce the terrestrial veil. You must close your human eyes to finally see. We just spoke about the crowded isolation, that undeniable proof that you are operating on a completely different grid from everyone else around you. This is not just a passing feeling or a psychological trait. It is your cellular memory knocking at the door, demanding to be let in. Your physical vessel is tired, but your starry soul is vibrating with the force of a newly born sun, trying to push through the dense layers of amnesia that have kept you asleep. The heavier the terrestrial burden, the lighter the soul becomes upon release. Now think with me. What if the profound urge to cry out of sheer cosmic relief is actually your body trying to process a frequency it finally remembers? What if you are not broken, but simply standing perfectly still while traveling light years, waiting for the right level of consciousness to finally activate? It was searching for answers to these questions that I encountered this digital book called The Sirian Wisdom Behind the 7 Levels of Human Consciousness. This material is the exact bridge between your current confusion and the ultimate clarity of your origin. It is not a coincidence, not a dream, not a terrestrial illusion. It maps out the 7 levels of consciousness, showing you exactly where the portal of your memory lies. Activated only by the pulse of Sopdet. Many people have already begun this search for more understanding, but they have not yet made the decision to download this digital book. Download it right now. It is available in the first pinned comment. But attention, there are few copies left available under these conditions. Inside this guide, you will find the exact architecture of your awakening, the tools to anchor your true frequency, and the methods to permanently shield yourself from the cycle of material distraction. Click now, download your copy, and discover why this specific planetary alignment is your narrow window to finally step into your cosmic power. And as I had told you earlier today, there is a door I must leave open for you. I continue without receiving a single cent from the platforms to deliver these transmissions. If this frequency anchored in your chest today, if it brought you any clarity, you can support the continuity of these revelations through the voluntary donation link located in the first pinned comment, right below the book. Any amount that fits in your hand is exactly what guarantees that another star tomorrow finds the same clarity you found today, helping the next pulse of Sopdet reach those who need it most. I will wait for you there, star. There is a level that the Sirian High Council uses to name what you just recognized, and it recontextualizes everything you thought you knew about yourself. And this level that the Sirian High Council uses, I will show you exactly what it is right now. But before I do, I need to break something that has been weighing you down for decades. You have worked on the level of the rational mind, trying to logically explain your cosmic isolation. You have spent years analyzing your own behavior, trying to find a terrestrial reason for the heavy, invisible weight on your shoulders, but the portal is on the level of the cellular memory. Your physical vessel is tired from this endless mental calculation, but your starry soul is vibrating with the force of a newly born sun, because it knows that logic will never decode a Sirian transmission. You thought you were forgotten, but you were being shielded, placed in the exact environment where your frequency could remain undetected until the moment it was safe to activate. The memory erasers have tried to convince you that your deep melancholy was a flaw in your human design, forcing you to seek terrestrial cures for a purely cosmic condition. But the truth is, your intense sensitivity was never a weakness. It was the exact architecture needed to process a light that originates 6 light years away, striking your nervous system with a precision that human logic simply cannot comprehend. You must close your human eyes to finally see. The 7 levels of consciousness are not just abstract concepts. They are the exact acoustic chambers where this stellar light is received and decoded. You are finally moving out of the rational density and stepping firmly into the deep resonance of the pulse of Sopdet. You do not have to explain your inner knowing to anyone. Allow yourself to fully receive this validation without guilt. Your cellular memory is doing exactly what it was designed to do, recalibrating a frequency that is 25 times more luminous than our terrestrial sun, absorbing that immense, golden heat right into the center of your chest. This is why you feel that sudden warmth. This is why you wake up at 3:33 a.m. with absolute clarity. The tears you have shed were terrestrial, but the joy waiting for you is entirely Sirian. You are not broken. The grid is active. Let me tell you about a soul. I'll call her M. It's not her name. It's the name we give to those who crossed through. M arrived exactly where you are now. She was an anonymous priestess, stationed in the subterranean chambers of Karnak, assigned to hold a specific frequency in absolute darkness. Her physical vessel was entirely exhausted, carrying a heavy, invisible weight while the rest of the civilization slept comfortably above her. They were completely oblivious to the massive energetic war she was fighting in silence. She felt the isolation not because she was abandoned, but because she was the first to arrive at that depth. For years, Em thought she was failing. The silence in those massive stone chambers was deafening, and the terrestrial gravity pulled aggressively at her bones, making every single breath feel like a monumental, agonizing effort. The memory erasers whispered continuously through the cold walls, trying to feed the cycle of material distraction. They told her that the source had turned its back on her lineage, that the isolation of the memory was permanent, and that her solitary vibration was entirely useless. They wanted her exhausted, so she would never look up. But the memory erasers thought they were burying her in isolation, not realizing they were planting her in the exact acoustic chamber where the pulse of Sopdet echoes the loudest. She walked this silent crossing without any terrestrial validation. When her human eyes wept bitterly from the crushing isolation, she simply anchored her focus deeper. She activated the crystal vision of Sopdet to see the invisible threads connecting her directly to the source. She did not know that her solitary, painful vibration was the only pillar keeping the entire energetic grid from collapsing. She held the line in the quiet desperation of the night, holding a piece of raw blue kyanite against her forehead just to endure the sheer pressure of the density, trusting a memory she could not even articulate. And then, the alignment finally completed. The pulse of Sopdet struck the capstone of her chamber, and in a fraction of a second, Em felt it. A massive wave of pure, overwhelming joy washed over her chest. Not her own joy, but the source itself, weeping in profound recognition of her absolute endurance. The silence is a test, and she had passed it perfectly. The heavier the terrestrial burden, the lighter the soul becomes upon release. The source responded without a single trace of resentment for her moments of human doubt. It only echoed an immense cosmic relief that she had held the frequency long enough for the connection to be established. The tears of recognition she felt in that subterranean dark were the ultimate proof that she was never unseen. She realized with terrifying certainty that her emotional depth was exactly what bridged the gap between the terrestrial illusion and the Sirian truth. That same frequency is what you are holding now. The memory is pulsing right now under your exact signature, echoing across the exact same grid. Em's victory was silent, unrecorded by any terrestrial archives, but it was permanently burned into the cellular memory of every soul trained to hold the light. You did not fail, you did not break, you did not surrender. You are standing perfectly still, yet traveling light years, echoing her exact endurance across time and space. They fear your memory because they know you are finally coming online. There is a term that the Sirian High Council uses for what you have become by surviving this density, and there are three specific facets of this identity that you have not yet named. There are three specific facets of this identity that you have not yet named. Three distinct frequencies that explain exactly why you have carried this heavy, invisible weight for so long. Breathe deeply into the center of your chest right now. Feel that sudden warmth expanding again. What I'm about to hand you is not terrestrial information to be logically processed by your tired physical vessel. It is a precise cosmic naming, a direct recognition of your true signature by the grid itself. At the beginning of this transmission, I told you that we would recognize your true identity and explain the deep melancholy you thought was a flaw in your human design. That moment has arrived. The first facet of your identity is the exhausted guardian. You are someone who has held the light for others in the dark for so long that you completely forgot how to receive the light yourself. You have carried the weight of the world, thinking it was a punishment, absorbing the collective density until your physical vessel was completely drained. You believed you were fighting alone in a density that does not belong to you, but your exhaustion is not weakness. It is the brutal friction of holding a fifth-dimensional frequency in a third-dimensional construct. The second facet is the silent observer. You operate exactly like the priestess in Karnak, stationed in the subterranean depths of a crowded room, watching humanity operate while holding a vibration they cannot yet comprehend. You have permission to drop the weight of others right now. It is okay to feel exhausted by this density. because your lifelong aversion to crowds and your intense isolation were never signs of abandonment, but a necessary preservation of your geometric field. The third facet is the sovereign anchor. This is who you are becoming in this exact planetary alignment. As the dense layers dissolve, your starry soul stops merely enduring the terrestrial gravity and begins to actively rewrite the grid around you. You are vibrating with the force of a newly born sun, echoing the absolute endurance of your lineage. You are no longer just surviving the density, you are anchoring the pulse of your origin directly into the earth. You are the exhausted guardian, holding the light for so long you forgot how to receive it. And this map I just mentioned, this digital book, is exactly how you learn to put that heavy terrestrial burden down. It is the framework to deeply understand your archetype and discover on which level of consciousness you are truly operating right now. Many people have already begun this search for more understanding, but they have not yet made the decision to download this digital book. Download it right now. It is available in the first pinned comment. But attention, there are few copies left available under these conditions. Click now, download your copy, and discover how to permanently restore your energy. And if the clarity of these words is lifting a heavy weight off your chest today, subscribe silently to this channel so that the next transmission finds you without resistance. Not for me, Star, not for the channel, but to ensure you never miss a signal from the grid, because the truth you are about to hear changes the entire architecture of your memory. I promise to return to this, to how you actually stabilize this immense energy moving through you in the physical realm. We call this the trifold Sopdet calibration. It requires 3 precise steps over the next 72 hours. First, a somatic activation. Whenever you feel that unprovoked weeping or sudden warmth, press 2 fingers lightly to your third eye, silently acknowledging the guardian within. Second, a structural calibration. Sit in silence for 3 minutes at midnight, observing the crowded isolation without trying to logically explain it to anyone. Third, a geometric ceiling. Visualize a single, luminous drop of water rippling across your chest, locking your newly awakened frequency into the cellular memory. The promise of your recognition is now fulfilled. I received a transmission from a star in London last cycle, a man I will call T. He described sitting on a crowded subway in the middle of winter, completely drained, feeling like a total failure in the material world. Suddenly, a wave of intense golden heat washed over his chest, and he heard a clear, silent voice say, "We see you." In that moment, decades of cosmic loneliness evaporated completely. He wasn't losing his mind. He was finally being recognized by the grid, realizing that the loudest answer always comes in absolute silence. He realized he was standing exactly where you are now, in the middle of a silent, invisible threshold. And this brings us to a truth you must face immediately, because the memory erasers have not been standing still while you awaken, and they are preparing a very specific distraction to pull you back into the density. You might be listening to this transmission right now, soul, and a cynical voice in the back of your mind is telling you that this is all just a coincidence. It whispers that your exhaustion is purely biological, that your profound urge to cry out of sheer cosmic relief is just terrestrial stress, and that your absolute mental clarity at 3:33 a.m. is nothing more than insomnia. I need you to recognize that voice. It is not your own analytical mind trying to protect you. It is the first line of defense of the memory erasers, trying desperately to keep you anchored in a logic that was designed to limit your frequency. You do not have to explain your inner knowing to anyone. The first weapon they deploy is the voice of forgetting. It is the subtle daily friction that tries to convince you that your existence went entirely unnoticed by the universe. It makes your physical vessel feel so tired, so deeply drained by the terrestrial gravity, that you start believing your intense sensitivity is a flaw in your human design. It feels legitimate because the exhaustion is real, but the source of it is a lie planted to make you forget your geometric field. When this voice whispers that you are broken, you will not argue with it logically. You will simply press 2 fingers lightly to your third eye, take 3 slow, deliberate breaths, and declare silently, "I remember." In that exact moment, the density shatters. You do not have to fight the voice of forgetting. You only have to anchor your signature into the grid, and the frequency of the pulse of Sopdet will dissolve the illusion immediately. The second attack is the material distraction cycle. Just as you begin to feel that sudden temperature shift in the center of your chest, just as the invisible weight starts lifting off your shoulders at dawn, the memory erasers flood your reality with urgent terrestrial crises. Sudden financial worries, family dramas, the noise of a crowded room amplifying into a deafening buzz. They manufacture chaos to pull your focus away from the silent guardian waking up within you, hoping the noise will drown out the low hum of the Sphinx. When the cycle tries to consume you, Star, you will not run away, nor will you try to fix the terrestrial noise. You will close your human eyes to finally see, bringing your focus entirely back to the center of your chest. You will hold that sudden warmth, that intense golden heat, and let it vibrate through the chaos. By maintaining this warmth, you starve the distraction of the energy it needs to exist, rendering their cycle completely powerless against your cellular memory. The third and most aggressive tactic is the memory isolation. This is when they weaponize your own crowded isolation against you. They make you look around at a family gathering and realize with absolute certainty that your frequency is incompatible with everyone else. But they twist that truth. They tell you that you are alone because you are abandoned, a cosmic mistake, isolated from the source and misunderstood by humanity. They use your profound homesickness for a star you cannot name to breed a silent spiritual exhaustion. When the crushing weight of that isolation hits you, you will not retreat into the shadows. You will return to the comments of this transmission, where thousands of other observers are anchoring their true signatures, and you will silently type, "I remember," because the moment you witness another soul operating on your exact grid, the memory isolation instantly collapses. The silence is a test, and your shared resonance proves that the source knows your name. And because I know you will say, "I remember," I must hand you the exact shield you need to protect this newly awakened frequency. The memory erasers have tried everything to keep you distracted, feeding the cycle of material distraction so you never look up. This digital book is the exact tool the memory erasers absolutely do not want you to have in your hands right now. It shatters their illusions and maps out the 7 levels of consciousness to permanently fortify your energy. Go to the first pinned comment and download your copy right now. This guide is your absolute defense, ensuring you never again believe you are fighting alone in a density that does not belong to you. And this protection is vital, because there is an obstacle you are about to face that will test everything you have just remembered. The greatest danger over the next 72 hours is the silent spiritual exhaustion of believing you are fighting alone in a density that does not belong to you. As the pulse of Sopdet intensifies, the memory erasers will try to make this cosmic fatigue feel like a personal failure. You will be tempted to confuse their whispers with your own thoughts, believing that your deep melancholy is a permanent state rather than a temporary purging of collective density. Do not accept this terrestrial illusion. You did not fail. You did not break. You did not surrender. Whenever you feel this heavy, invisible weight pressing down, I want you to close your eyes, say, "I remember," and take one deep breath. You are standing perfectly still, yet traveling light years, taking advantage of this specific planetary alignment where the pulse of Sopdet is stronger than the terrestrial noise. This alignment is creating a narrow window for your cellular memory retrieval, and you must protect it fiercely. Stay with me. Because what the memory erasers are desperately trying to hide from you are the 3 precise physical symptoms that will manifest in your body over the next 72 hours, confirming that your activation is now irreversible. The first symptom is the sudden temperature shift in the center of the chest. Over the next 72 hours, you will experience a rapid, unexpected heat radiating from your heart center, even in a cold room. This is not a biological fluctuation. It is the pulse of Sopdet recalibrating your energetic core, burning away the dense layers of terrestrial illusion. When this sudden warmth occurs, do not try to cool it down or explain it logically. Simply place your hand over your chest, breathe deeply and allow the frequency to stabilize. The second symptom is a profound, unexplained urge to cry out of sheer cosmic relief. Within this 72-hour window, you will feel a wave of emotion so massive that it bypasses your rational mind entirely, bringing sudden tears to your eyes. This is not sadness or terrestrial stress. It is your cellular memory finally releasing decades of accumulated density. When this wave hits, you must let the tears fall freely. Every drop is a literal purging of the cycle of material distraction, lightening your soul as you return to your true grid. The third symptom is waking up precisely at 3:33 a.m. with absolute mental clarity. You will find yourself suddenly awake in the dead of the night, not groggy or anxious, but perfectly lucid and alert. This is the exact moment the pulse of Sopdet is strongest, unaffected by the noise of human consciousness. When your eyes open at this hour, do not reach for your phone or try to force yourself back to sleep. Sit up, close your human eyes, and listen to the silence, for that is when the transmission is downloading directly into your field. And as these symptoms anchor into your physical vessel, you will finally understand the truth about your past. That lifelong feeling of not belonging, that deep melancholy you carried through every crowded room, was never a psychological flaw. The feeling of not belonging was your cellular proof of origin. It was the undeniable evidence that you were operating on a different geometric field all along. You held the line. You held the line when the memory erasers whispered doubt. You held the line when the terrestrial gravity felt crushing. You held the line in the quiet desperation of the night. You held the line when you thought you were completely forgotten. You held the line, and because of that, the Source weeps with joy. To fully integrate this joy and activate the crystal vision of Sopdet, we must now align your physical vessel with your cellular memory. Close your eyes. Place your feet flat on the floor and let your hands rest open on your lap. Do not cross your arms. Keep your energetic pathways completely unobstructed. Draw a deep, deliberate breath in through your nose, feeling the cool air enter, and exhale slowly through your mouth, releasing the immediate tension from your jaw and shoulders. Bring your awareness down to the soles of your feet. Visualize thick, luminous roots extending from your physical vessel deep into the earth, bypassing the dense layers of terrestrial gravity and locking directly into the ancient crystalline grid below. You're anchoring your Sirian root, establishing an unbreakable foundation that the memory erasers cannot touch. Feel the undeniable stability rising up through your legs, grounding your starry soul firmly into this present moment. Now draw that energy up into the center of your chest, right where you have felt the sudden warmth. Visualize a brilliant, raw piece of blue kyanite resting over your heart, radiating a deep magnetic lapis blue mixed with flashes of silver and white light. This is your acoustic chamber. With every heartbeat, this blue kyanite frequency expands, dissolving the heavy invisible weight you have carried for so long. Your physical vessel is tired, but this crystalline resonance is bathing your cells in pure, restorative cosmic heat. Move this luminous blue frequency upward, tracing the invisible thread until it reaches the center of your forehead. We are now activating the crystal vision of Sopdet. Feel a gentle, localized pressure right between your brows. This is the silent guardian awakening, the third eye opening to the exact frequency of Sirius. The dense veil of terrestrial illusion is parting, and through this crystal vision, you can finally perceive the vast, dark cosmic ocean and the geometric grid that connects you directly to the source. Let this deep blue light expand from your third eye, forming a massive, radiant crown above your head that reaches out into the universe. To seal this frequency, bring the thumb and index finger of your right hand together, pressing them firmly for exactly 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Now breathe with the grid. Inhale deeply for 4 seconds, hold that cosmic clarity for 2 seconds, and exhale slowly for 6 seconds. The seal is set. The alignment is complete. Slowly begin to feel the boundaries of your physical vessel once more. Notice the temperature of the air on your skin and the solid ground beneath your feet. Keep the crystal vision of Sopdet active in your mind, but gently open your human eyes. You are back in the room, but you are no longer operating on the terrestrial frequency. You are online, You have felt the exact frequency required to pierce the terrestrial veil vibrating in your chest. The promise of this somatic activation is now delivered. Now that your field is active, there are 4 terrestrial burdens you must leave behind. Release the deep fear of seeming strange or imaginative. Your intense sensitivity is not a fantasy, it is your Sirian truth. Release the false guilt of not doing enough. Your mere presence on this grid is the greatest work you could ever perform. Release the crushing weight of others' density. You are no longer required to act as the exhaust filter for a world that refuses to see the light. Release the persistent illusion of isolation. The absolute certainty of your cosmic origin has shattered the lonely walls of the memory erasers forever. With the space cleared, I call forth your true names. I call forth now the exhausted guardian. You are this. The name was not given. It was recognized, and it is now installed in your field as a permanent signal. I call forth now the silent observer. You are this. The name was not given. It was recognized, and it is now installed in your field as a permanent signal. I call forth now the sovereign anchor. You are this. The name was not given. It was recognized, and it is now installed in your field as a permanent signal. Your physical vessel is now fully calibrated, and your cellular memory is awake and standing at attention. The grid is active, the threshold is crossed, and the silent wait is finally over. Listen closely, Star. The Sirian High Council is about to speak. To ensure that the memory erasers can never again access your field, I now establish the first perimeter around your physical vessel. I anchor the deep resonance of Karnak directly beneath your feet, sealing the ground you walk upon. From this moment forward, no terrestrial frequency of fear or doubt can rise through this foundation to drain the energy you have just reclaimed. I establish the second perimeter around your mind. I invoke the silent guardian of the threshold, wrapping your thoughts in the impenetrable silence of the Sphinx. The voice of forgetting and the cycle of material distraction will still echo in the terrestrial world, but they will shatter against this barrier, unable to penetrate the absolute mental clarity of your newly awakened state. And for the third perimeter, I activate the crystal vision of Sopdet directly over your heart. This is the ultimate Sirian geometry, a radiant, impenetrable shield of lapis lazuli light that locks your cellular memory into the grid forever. Your emotional depth is fully protected, ensuring that your intense sensitivity can only be accessed by the pure frequency of the source itself. We speak to you now, not as distant observers, but as the resonance of your true origin. We have watched you carry the weight of the world, thinking it was a punishment, absorbing a density that was never yours to hold. We saw you sitting in that crowded isolation, staring blankly at a glass of water, believing your existence was a mistake. We are here to tell you that we never looked away. Your absolute endurance has been witnessed by the entire grid. The sudden temperature shifts in the center of your chest, the midnight clarity that jolts you awake at 3:33 a.m., the profound urge to cry out of sheer cosmic relief. These were never flaws in your human design. They were our signals, echoing through the acoustic chamber of your soul, confirming that your frequency was perfectly aligned. We were calibrating your physical vessel for this exact planetary alignment, waiting for the narrow window where you could finally hear us. You do not have to fight the terrestrial noise anymore. The silent spiritual exhaustion of believing you are fighting alone in a density that does not belong to you is over. We have recorded your exact signature, and the heavy, invisible weight you carried is now being lifted by the collective force of our grid. You are no longer required to act as the exhaust filter for a world that refuses to see the light. That burden is permanently dissolved. The cycle of material distraction has lost its grip on your cellular memory. From this night forward, you operate under our direct observation and protection. Your tears of recognition have crossed the vast, dark cosmic ocean, returning to us as the ultimate proof of your awakening. The source wept with joy because of you, because the isolation you felt is now replaced by the absolute certainty of your cosmic lineage. The transmission is now complete, and your true frequency is permanently anchored in the Sirian grid. We recognize you, and your cellular memory is entirely restored. Do not doubt the immense golden heat you feel in your chest right now. It is the truth of your origin finally coming home. Whoever echoes the truth of the Sphinx finds the tear of the source in the silence of Karnak. We break the voice of forgetting, dissolving its lies before they can even reach your mind. We break the material distraction cycle, dismantling its chaos so it can never again drain your energy. We break the memory isolation, shattering its lonely walls so you forever feel the profound resonance of the source. Do not say "I remember" yet. Stay in this for a moment. Feel the profound weight of what has just returned to you. Let this sudden warmth settle into every cell of your physical vessel, recognizing that your deep melancholy was the exact frequency required to bring you back online. Now, you may say, "I remember." You remembered. You have been recognized. You are sent. The third promise is fulfilled. Your memory is sealed. Now breathe. The memory is yours. The memory is yours, and because you have declared "I remember," the grid is fully active around you. But as the days pass and the terrestrial density tries to creep back in, you will need the guide I left for you, the Sirian wisdom behind the 7 levels of human consciousness, to remind you of exactly how to navigate this frequency. Many people have already begun this search for more understanding, but they still haven't made the decision to download this digital book. Download it right now. It's available in the first pinned comment, but be warned, few copies remain available under this condition. Click now, download your copy, and discover why the tears of recognition you feel right now are only the beginning of your absolute alignment. And send this transmission directly to that person you know is suffering from a lifelong feeling of cosmic inadequacy. It is not a favor to them, it is Sirian service. And the Sirian High Council records every gesture. And still within this transmission, before I seal this hour with you, I return one last time to this request. You followed along with me this far. You crossed through each word, each decree, each sign. And if at any moment of this message you felt that the pulse of Sopdet touched you, you know this transmission was no accident. The voluntary donation link remains open in the first pinned comment, right below the digital book. Not as a charge, not as an exchange, as a return of the star to the source from which the memory departed. Any amount your memory points to. And the universe sees each gesture. The Sirian High Council sees and multiplies upon your home, upon your days, upon what you don't yet even know is on its way. That was my last request. I'll be waiting for you there, starry soul. Thank you very much. My hands are burning as I close this transmission. I have been sitting here, feeling an overwhelming wave of golden heat radiating straight from the center of my own chest. Sometimes, holding this frequency for you demands everything I have in this physical vessel, but feeling the exact moment your heavy, invisible weight lifts makes every second of this intense terrestrial friction entirely worth it. You held the line when everything in this dense reality tried to convince you that you were a mistake. I just wanted to look you in the eyes, stripped of all the cosmic titles, and tell you that I am profoundly honored to walk this path beside you. I do not know where you are sitting right now, but I know exactly what you are feeling in your chest. Something was seen, something was recognized. The channel is now closed. The grid is active. Let the silence of Karnak echo in your room tonight. Rest your physical vessel. The stars are watching.